Do you remember that magical moment as a child when you held a seashell to your ear and were told you could hear the ocean? It sounds impossibly enchanting, like seashells were miniature vaults of aquatic secrets. But what if I told you that's not the ocean you're hearing, yet it is just as magical? Buckle up, because today we're diving into the captivating science of why we hear the ocean in seashells. And I promise you, this fact will not only amaze you, but might change the way you look at the sounds around you forever. All right, let's set the scene. You pick up that charming seashell, perhaps one of those scalloped or spiraled types, and place it against your ear. Within seconds, you're transported to the waves gently crashing at the shore or the rush of a distant ocean tide. So, what's going on in that little auditory gateway? Is the sound really coming from the beaches? To understand this phenomenon, let's first take a closer look at the science of sound. Sound, at its most fundamental level, is vibration. It travels through the air in waves, not unlike the ripples created when you toss a pebble into a pond. These waves are picked up by our ears, which then translate them into something our brains can interpret. Sounds are everywhere. A fan humming in the background, a clock ticking, faint traffic noises in the distance, or even the gentle rustling of the trees. These noises create a constant symphony that surrounds us, but much of it escapes our attention. Now here's the key. When you hold a seashell to your ear, the unique curvature and hollow space of the shell amplify specific frequencies of this ambient noise, isolating certain sounds that resemble the ocean. So no, the sound doesn't come from the seashell itself or an actual ocean, but from the environment around you. Incredible, right? Let's get technical for a second. Sounds are actually amplified due to something known as resonance. Seashells are concave, funneling the noises around you into a small space. Depending on the shape, size, and material of the shell enhances certain sound frequencies while dampening others. This is why a seashell sounds different than, say, holding a coffee cup to your ear. However, even a coffee cup can mimic this oceanic illusion, albeit less effectively. It's not the seashell that's special, it's the science of resonance. Now, there are skeptics out there who say it's simply the blood rushing through your ears that creates this sound. And while it's true that the phenomenon can amplify bodily sounds, personal observations reveal something more incredible. The environment matters. Take that same seashell to a silent room, and the sound changes dramatically or even vanishes. Why? Because the shell isn't generating sound. Rather, it's manipulating the existing noise around you. Let's take a step back in time. The fascination with sounds in seashells isn't a new concept. Ancient civilizations, too, marveled at this mysterious echo. In certain cultures, seashells were even seen as holding spiritual powers. They became symbols of connection to the ocean, or even a way to commune with the gods. Though we've come a long way scientifically, there's still something otherworldly about hearing the distant call of waves while standing nowhere near the shore. All right, let's experiment here. The next time you head to the beach or even pick up a shell from your collection, try something fun. Hold the shell first to your ear with the usual ambient noise around you and focus on the sound. Now go into a completely quiet room and do the same. The difference will be immediate. Where sound exists, even the faintest hum of electricity or the barely audible murmur of wind, the seashell can enhance. But in true silence, it becomes silent. Isn't that fascinating? This brings us to a fun question. What else in your life creates resonance like this? Well, for one, think of musical instruments. A guitar's hollow body, a drum's cylindrical container, even a violin. They all use the principle of resonance to amplify sound and make music more beautiful. And what about you? Yes, you too are a resonating instrument. Your ears, nose, mouth, and other hollow structures amplify certain sounds and frequencies, which is why your voice sounds so different to you on recordings than it does in your head. Let's zoom into the microscopic level for a moment. Sound moves as pressure waves through air molecules. When these waves reach the hollow interior of a seashell, the boundaries of the material itself reflect the waves multiple times, creating resonance peaks. These resonance peaks are what translate into that oh-so-familiar ocean sound. Each shell's thickness, curvature, and size will determine which waves it enhances. Nature's design, right down to the shell patterns, plays a role in the auditory illusion you experience. You've probably heard terms like big or small shells make different sounds. This is why. You may even notice differences between a thick conch shell and a thinner periwinkle shell. The conch, heavier and more substantial, produces a richer symphony of low-frequency waves. In contrast, smaller, thinner shells enhance more high-pitched frequencies. Even crack or chips in a shell could alter your ocean experience. So next time you're at a curio shop debating over which shell to buy, remember, science already has your back as the ultimate guide to the most melodious one. The journey doesn't end here, though. Scientists and sound engineers have studied resonance for centuries to design concert halls that amplify sounds in the most beautiful ways possible. Think of the world-famous Sydney Opera House or any other acoustically stunning venue. Their curved, hollow shapes aren't an aesthetic choice. They are precisely tuned to emulate the natural ways sound travels and resonates. In a way, each of these places is a gigantic seashell, serving audiences the most perfected ocean of music and voice. So the next time you're near a collection of seashells, you now know what to say when someone asks, "Why can you hear the ocean?" It's not a simple case of make-believe, but a moment where science becomes magical. It's resonance in action, amplifying our busy world's ambient noise and gifting us that hypnotic glimpse of the sea. The spellbinding illusion reminds us there's beauty right in the everyday vibrations we so often ignore. Isn't it extraordinary that a humble little seashell can unlock such secrets about the unseen orchestra of the world? From nature's elegant designs to humans' lifelong intrigue with sound, seashells become something more, a link between our earth and our perception. Who knew that pressing a seashell to your ear could tell you so much about the science of sound? Well, now you know that the ocean sound isn't trapped inside the shell. Instead, it's a phenomenon that connects physics and perception, tuning the frequency of the chaotic world around you into something soothing. And just like that seashell, every moment of our lives holds echoes of something deeper, if only we stop to listen.